Samus, can you hear my voice?
I read you loud and clear, Adam.
You know what lies up ahead. The Metroids and the artificial intelligence that controls them. The fruit of the Galactic Federation's twisted project.
Yes. So why did you shoot me?
You can't destroy these Metroids.
What do you mean?
Sector Zero Metroids most likely can't be frozen.
What are you talking about?
There's a strong likelihood that the Metroid's mortal weakness, the vulnerability to cold, has been overcome through genetic manipulation. And if that's true, there's no way you can destroy them.
But that baby earlier, the infant Metroid, you were able to freeze it.
True. My guess is that it was because it was still in a larval stage. But who can say? One thing's for certain. They're definitely propagating Metroids. Developing bioweapons with an obvious and fatal flaw would be suicide. It's hard to imagine the military mass-producing defective weapons. Then again, none of this makes sense. Metroids are lethal. Their extinction was a wise decision. And now, since no one has the technology to defeat them, they cannot be allowed to exist.
Hang on, Adam. First, I need to know why you're credited as the creator of the Metroid Military Program Report.
I received the request to write the report from Galactic Federation headquarters. In that report, I outlined the potential dangers of such a program and explained categorically why it shouldn't be attempted. HQ listened, but a small group within the Federation co-opted my report for its own purposes. Samus, you'll be fully recovered soon. I have several missions for you. This facility appears to be on an intercept course with Galactic Federation HQ. If what Madeline Bergman said is correct, there's a distinct possibility that this is the start of an attack by MB against the Federation. One way or another, some sort of attack is clearly imminent. You have to find a way to divert the ship off its intercept course. I've located a survivor in room MW, toward the rear of the Bioweapon Research Center. Whoever it is will be a key witness. Secure the survivor's safety, and defeat Ridley. He's as much of a threat as the Metroids. And one last word of warning. Madeline Bergman is no ally.
Hold on, Adam. What are you planning to do with the Metroids here in Sector Zero?
Leave it to me. I'll deal with this place.
You have a plan for dealing with Metroids that can't be frozen?
Sector Zero has a self-destruct protocol. If the sector receives a significant amount of damage, the unit is programmed to detach and self-destruct. A powerful explosion will eliminate the Metroids and MB without leaving a trace.
Don't you dare, Adam. Let me go in. I'm the only one who has a shot against the Metroids. We have to take the chance. Please, Adam. You have to trust me. You have to trust me. Just give me a chance.
Samus, I wish I could battle Ridley, but I can't. Unlike you, I'm no galactic savior. I'm merely human. But I can save you. You should be completely healed soon. There isn't much time. We both need to get started on our missions. I'm sorry for getting a little rough with you. Good luck, Samus. Objections. Right, lady?
Emergency in Sector 0. Disengaging unit. Emergency in Sector 0. Disengaging unit. Emergency in
Adam vanished. My best friend. The person who understood me best. The closest thing to a father I had. Thoughts swirled through my head. I couldn't come to grips with what had happened. Such a cruel way to say goodbye. I was the only one who witnessed Adam's last moment. And though it shook me, I was calmer than I usually am. I think Adam granted me that Eye of the Storm clarity, his final gift to me. There was no time for me to grieve his death, but there was time for me to say, Adam, thank you. Leave the rest to me.
Alright, tons to unpack from that scene right there. That's the scene that I was really waiting for before I start going in-depth to what I think of Samus's character in this game right here. Although, we've got some important kind of really tense stuff going on right here, so I'm not going to get too into it for right now, but I will get into it later. I have many, many thoughts. But just as a brief overview, I don't find that scene as offensive as other people seem to find it, although I'm not going to say, like, with the Ridley cutscene, I'm not on the same position. With the Ridley cutscene, I'm still very much, like I said, willing to die on that hill. I am very entranced in my opinion in that one. I think it's actually a good thing for the character. Not so much with that one right there. I do have my problems with that one right there, but we'll get to it shortly, don't worry. But now before we, at long last, activate our gravity suit, or the gravity feature. Yep, and there we go. So what the gravity feature does is that it does take away, well, the effects of gravity and being underwater and things like that, just like it would back in the good old classic games. Although it's not a suit this time, it's just kind of like an aura that we have, a strange purple aura that's around Samus for this one right here. And like I said, I'm not really a fan of it. I understand that the reason that they made this decision, and I believe that Sakamoto is on record saying this, is because when they playtested it, It just looks really stupid with like the purple suit and the color palette in this 3D space right here. And I can see that because honestly guys, if you look at the gravity suit back in Metroid Prime, which has been its only true 3D appearance I suppose, it's okay, it looks kind of stupid. It looks kind of goofy compared to everything else. It does not work as well as it did back when it was a 2D sprite for sure, but still, I mean, come on, it's the classic gravity suit, guys. I mean, the suit already looks kind of goofy back when we didn't have the Various suit on, so I think you should have gone all out. Why retcon it into, like, the gravity feature or whatever? I don't really like it. But like I said, it takes away the effects of gravity and us having to trudge through underwater areas, things like that, and also reduces damage by 75%. So, you know, just like it did back in the old days, it's really not different. But I guess they just like the Various suit design so much that they decided to stick with it and not change it for the gravity suit. Which is cool. I mean, I could stick by that because the Various suit design is the classic one. That is the Samus design, after all. But still, I liked the gravity suit. Like, well, not really worth going on any further, I suppose. But before we get out of here, I wonder if his stupid corpse is still here. Yeah, all that ugliness, dude. You are hideous. In the running for, like, probably the most hideous Metroid enemy of all time. But of course, his ugly self is not done. Fantastic. So yep, we get to fight the Nightmare again. Great, but this time we can actually jump around because we're not really affected by his gravity attacks as much. Which is another question that I think kind of ties into the authorization system. Why didn't Samus activate the gravity feature when she knew that it would have helped against this against the Nightmare here because it could control gravity and things like that? That tells me that kind of the weird, doesn't really make sense type of authorizations that we have in this game weren't just Adam, guys. I mean, Samus kind of, in the lore, in the context of just the story, makes the same mistake right here by not activating it when it would have helped her. She really has no reason to not activate the gravity suit in that moment. But do you guys know what the answer is? And it's what I've said this entire time. It's gameplay reasons. It's the reason that the authorization system existed in the first place. It's really just, it's not that story-based, to be honest. And, oh god, do these things ever go away? Can I actually shoot these things down? I don't know if I can or not. Yeah, she could have activated it, but you know why? It was gameplay reasons, because they wanted us to feel the effects of gravity back when we fought this guy the first time. They wanted us to have to deal with the consequences of the gravity manipulation and things like that. It wasn't just because Adam said we couldn't, or Samus was just being stupid in the moment. The real reason was a gameplay reason, and like I said back in like episode 2, I just kind of have the ability to look at the real-world context behind and reasons behind those types of decisions, but maybe people can't do that. I suppose that maybe people are just kind of sucked into just the story, kind of justifying everything about the game, but I have never seen games like that, I suppose. I've always just thought of, like, the real-world applications and what the developers want me to feel and things like that. Is this thing just going to continue to fight? Just screw off. I hate these things. Am I even hitting him with that? No, I think I need to go up more. I thought I could take care of this guy by just staying on the first floor right here, but no, let's get on up there. Shouldn't be an issue because we can just jump on up there. But he's just going to stay right up there and thinks he can just snipe me with bubbles, huh? Come on, come on. That's not going to work. I think these things actually absorb our beam as well, like that giant black hole that you see right there. So let's go ahead and punch in a missile right there, or we can just do this again. Yikes. Oh god, the light from that beam right there, that is something else. Okay, let's go again. Turn around, and go! There we go, got him that time. And just one more should do it, if I can manage it. Let's go ahead and try to dodge past these things, because they can't really turn on the dime. And let's go! Oh, is that not going to do it? Oh yeah, because that thing absorbs the missiles, of course. Okay, come on, get out the way. Just go ahead and screw attack around you right here, and this will be the one. I can feel it. Go! Ah, god, just bounced off these again. But the manipulation of gravity that he can use as a shield right now, that is annoying. But I am glad that kind of like an iconic enemy like Nightmare got, you know, kind of around too. I got the not defeated quite yet treatment. Alright, turn around, and that should be, oh god, yeah, that thing's still sucking it up. Oh yeah, I think that means that I can't actually fire missiles on this floor. Let's go ahead and try to get up like one more layer higher if we can. Let's see if it'll actually follow me. This one's a bit more annoying and it's a bit more involved, but you can see it's a lot easier to kind of dodge his attacks when we're up here. And maybe this will do it. Now he's actually turned around now. Okay, let's do it before he creates one of those gravity wells. Jump around here again. I forgot how annoying this guy was with the shielding and the whatnot. Come on, come on. One super missile, that's all I need. Oh, you stop it. Let's see, is it going to keep absorbing it even if I'm all the way over here? I hope not. Come on, buddy. Okay, let's see if I can do it now. Let's get him right here. Nope, he's just gonna use that as a shield. Unless we're empty anyway. Come on. Am I doing something wrong here? I don't remember having this problem. Alright, we gotta get our missiles back first. There we go. Then jump over that beam. That should do it. And maybe now, before he gets the next round off. There we go. Nope, he's just gonna keep absorbing them up right there. So let's go ahead and try one more floor. We beat you on the first floor, the top floor the last time. Maybe we can do it this time. I'm just gonna hit you with it right off the bat. Screw you! It's still not gonna work, huh? There's gotta be a way to punch this in quick. Maybe I just need to do something about these gravity wells. And that'll do it, yeah. You just have to keep bouncing around floors until you can manage to punch a super missile in there before you can create one of the gravity wells. That was pretty annoying, wow. Whew. But with that, I think we have finally taken out the nightmare for good in this game right here. Oh boy, glad I never have to look at your ugly face ever again. Until, I guess, you know, we play Fusion again, which might happen on this channel someday. Who really knows? But with that out of the way, we have a lot of backtracking to do now, which is why I'm going to start touching on that scene that we just saw with Samus and Adam. Let's address the logistical problems here first. Actually, let me say, I think the main issue that people take with that cutscene, it's not so much the content of it, really, it's the fact that Adam actually shoots Samus, and that there's some kind of weird, like, power dynamic going on right there, or something. Again, I don't want to get political here. I really don't want to. And it looks like, yeah, we can bounce around here just fine now. But yeah, okay, yeah. I think the number one complaint right there is that Adam shoots Samus in order for him to accomplish his goals, and in order for him to kind of tell her what he thinks she needs to know, or something to that effect. I think that's the main argument here. Let's address my logistical problems here first. I don't really mind. I do kind of mind that he shoots her, okay? But my bigger issue here is the logistical, like, okay, how did he know, like, exactly where to shoot her, and why does that paralyze her to a point to where she loses her focus, loses her control over the suit, and she's no longer able to effectively use it? Those were questions that I all had, and I think, actually, yeah, I do want to go all the way down here, don't I, in order to get that power up? Yeah, I think I do, actually. How did he know to do that? I mean, I always kind of chalked it up to, like, he hit her, because, you know, she has that emblem on the back of her Zero suit, which I guess is how she, like, got her power or something like that, or where maybe, like, her focus comes from, or something to that effect. So I guess I could buy that, like, he hit her in the spinal cord and she wasn't able, and that, like, caused some kind of nervous system reaction where she wasn't able to, like, focus and maintain control of the suit or something like that. I guess that's fine, but how did Adam know that he could shoot her right there, and how did he know the weapon he could use in order to cause that type of reaction? I mean, I guess I could buy that reaction would happen, maybe? But then again, it's just like, okay, how did he know to do that, and how did he have the weapon to do that, and how do I get this power up right here? Actually, I remember where it is. I'm being so stupid. It's right... No, it's somewhere in here. Where exactly is it in here? Well, I guess I can always get the collectathon, because we have pretty much everything now. I can always get it when we do the collectathon again, but... Huh, that's kind of bothering me. Ah, well, I can get it later. Pretty sure that it's just a missile expansion anyways, because the big prize right here is going to be this thing right here. Okay, just screw attacking you. You guys have given me enough trouble, geez. So yeah, that's my primary problem with it. It's that, how did he know how to do that? But I think the primary problem that people have is that he shot her. So let's go over the reasons why he may have done that. Because she asks, okay, why did you shoot me? And he just kind of shrugs it off. Well, I think number one, I think the primary reason he shot her is because he wanted to disable her and what she could do with her suit, in order so he could make that sacrifice, because he knew that Samus would try to go in and solve things herself, that she would kind of not really give herself up, but though she would try to talk him out of the sacrifice that he gave. I think that's the primary reason that he shot her and why he wanted to disable her and things like that. He tries to spin it as, oh, well, you couldn't kill the Metroid or something like that, but I think that's kind of the practical end story reason, but there's another one too, and it's one that people tend to, like, overlook and ignore. And it's more of those, like, meta real-world context kind of things. It's because, up to that moment, they really wanted you to think that it's a possibility that Adam is indeed the deleter. So when we have that shot of him shooting her in the back and the cutaway, I think in that moment we're supposed to be like, oh crap, Adam really is the deleter, and we didn't know it. It was to kind of up the tension right there, to make us unsure about the true loyalties of Adam and things like that. So those are the two reasons why, guys. One of them that kind of makes sense in the context of the story, that Adam wanted her to be disabled so he could make his sacrifice, and two, because it was to kind of serve the tension and the mysterious nature of the story as well right there. But again, are those two particularly good? No, I don't think so. But I don't think it's just because Adam's, like, abusive to Samus or something like that. He had a reason for doing what he was doing right there. And it kind of makes sense to me when I kind of turn off my brain just a tad bit right there. But I think, like, that's the major issue that people take with that, right? That he actually shoots her in order to accomplish that. I can't really think of any other objection you would have to that treatment right there. Like, I'm really trying to think, because as it pertains to Samus's character, like I already said, I don't mind a character showing vulnerability and showing that they have flaws. In fact, I think it makes them a much better character for doing it, as I now want to get this right here, and I think I can do it by virtue of being able to do that. Yeah, there we go. Just had to wait for our gravity feature to be turned on. And that I don't mind vulnerability, and that I don't mind her, I guess, having a weakness. Because really, who isn't kind of emotionally weak sometimes when it concerns a really close family member or a really good friend or something like that? I completely buy that Samus is upset when she finds out that Adam wants to destroy himself right there, and that he wants to sacrifice himself, and that he wants to be the one that takes out Sector Zero, and that he has a reason for doing that. And I feel like this is another thing that people gloss over whenever they think about this scene when it comes to Adam and Samus's character. I think some people have interpreted that as Adam just kind of, again, I don't want to get political. This is just what I've heard online and what I kind of disagree with. Maybe this is not the consensus. That scene is all about Adam kind of flexing his sexist power over Samus as, like, a white man or something like that. Now, I don't see that at all. I see it completely differently, just like I saw back in the Ridley cutscene. Because he says, I wish I could take down Ridley. Alright, I wish I could be the one that actually saves the day. I wish I was strong enough, but I'm just human. I'm not an intergalactic hero like you are. I physically cannot beat Ridley. Okay, I can't do that. Even with, like, the plasma pack that Anthony had, he couldn't do it. Okay, like, I can't do it. Like, I'm not strong enough, but Samus, you're the only one that can beat Ridley. And like you said, Ridley is just as dangerous as the Metroids. The guy is ruthless. We don't really know at this point if he had, like, any true kind of higher intelligence or things like that, because, like, he's never really portrayed as intelligent in the game. In the manga, he's definitely intelligent because he leads the Space Pirates, and because he's kind of still seen as the leader of the Space Pirates in the games, I always kind of assumed he had the same intelligence. But Adam tells her straight up, like, Ridley is as big of a threat as the Metroids. We cannot let him leave the station because we know he can fly through space. He said, take her out. You're the only one that can do it, which is why it has to be me that makes this sacrifice, which is why I have to go in here alone, which is why I disabled you, to make sure that you didn't try to follow me and save me because, well, we're close, we have a history together, things like that. Maybe that's the problem people had, that Adam thought he knew best in that situation, but is he exactly wrong? Like, doesn't that kind of make sense? You have two people left. You have Adam, you still have the deleter out there, who could be, at this point, either James or KG. You just have Adam and Samus. One person has to self-destruct with the Metroids right here because they have an invulnerability to the cold, we can't kill them, and one of them has to go kill Ridley. Is he wrong for thinking that he should be the one to make this sacrifice right here and that Samus has to be the one to kill Ridley? I mean, it makes sense to me. No one else has ever defeated Ridley but Samus. I think she has to be the one to take him out for good. Makes complete sense to me. And then again, maybe it's just the fact that he shot her in order to do it, but like I said, I think there are already reasons for that to kind of be the case. And of course, maybe you disagree with me, and I'll admit my stance on this is not as strong as it was back with the Ridley cutscene. But let me go ahead and talk about specifically how I feel like that impacts Samus's character. I think people said that was the real scene that destroyed her character. But like I said, isn't really just character assassination for someone to get kind of emotionally vulnerable about a person that they're close to, or that they've been close to, or a person that really meant something to them kind of in their past? I don't know. I think it's nice, again, that Samus does show some vulnerability. It makes her more relatable, makes her more of a character to me. But I think most of the criticisms of that scene, apart from the whole, like, gender power dynamics, which I don't think is really a thing here, guys. I honestly don't. Maybe in our Western hyper-gender politics world it does, but, you know, for me, just a hardcore fan playing through the game, I don't think it is. Maybe it was more of, people didn't ever want Samus to have a character in the first place, and when she did, she started showing some, like, emotional sides, that she started showing vulnerable sides, she started showing things that could make you a compelling character if these types of flaws and the ways that you conquer them are presented in a very, kind of convincing way, a very interesting way, things like that. Although maybe at this point people had decided that, no, Samus was going to have a character that I didn't want her to be vulnerable like this. I wanted her to be kind of this Rey from Star Wars-esque Mary Sue figure that doesn't really have any flaws. You know, she takes control all the time, does everything perfectly. Or maybe you were just like she should have been, a completely quiet, stoic badass that I'd never talked at all, and never had a character at all, and I'm going through this thing, so help me God. Yeah, there we go. That'll do it. I don't know if I could have done this the entire time or not, but I did it now. So maybe people have just decided that, one, I don't want Samus to have a character, I just want her to be solely the avatar of me. I want her to be just like Link from Legend of Zelda. I never wanted the character, never wanted anything deep, which is a valid, that is a valid, I guess, point of view, given where the series started. Or maybe you just decided at that point that if she was going to be a character, she was just going to be like hard-ass, female, does everything, just perfect in every way, things like that, but I don't think that makes a compelling character, guys. I think having flaws and having emotion does make a compelling character. So, yeah, I again, my thoughts and feelings on that, not nearly as strong as they were with the Ridley one, because with the Ridley one, I just feel like, I don't know, that just made a lot more sense to me, and it seemed a lot more obvious to me as well. With this one, a little bit more up to interpretation. I think if you know the history between what Samus thinks of Adam via the manga and in Metroid Fusion, that might make a bit more sense. Kind of like if you tried to justify the authorization system, but I can see how people have problems with that scene right now. I really just don't... It really just annoys me, though, that people are like, that was the destruction of Samus's character permanently. I was like, guys, she never really had a character. Go ahead and look back at everything that Samus kind of was character-wise, kind of in all the games before this. Did Samus actually have a character? Like, did she? Or were you just kind of making it up in your headcanon about what Samus's character was? Because, well, she really just kind of did things. She never really reacted to anything too much. She just, took care of business on the screen, did what the player wanted her to do, and that was it. Sure, she had badass moments where she took down enemies, but I mean, those are right here in Other M2. In fact, I would argue that they're kind of multiplied tenfold, to be honest, that she has a lot more badass taking down enemies in this one. And in fact, I would kind of argue the opposite for the rest of the games, that the character that she did have in the games, I thought it was kind of this more compassionate type of person. I said this all the way back in 2013, whenever I completed Metroid 2 Return of Samus, that just the fact that she let the baby go, that she took the baby with her, is kind of a sign that she was never just this cold, calculated killer that just got business done and just killed things, Like, that was never Samus, because, well, she didn't do it in Metroid 2, and that was the second freaking game in the series. I would argue that Metroid Fusion, a game that came before Other M as well, kind of reinforced that. Things like that. I've always loved that cutscene. For that one, guys, I figured that one out right off the bat. Because, I'm one of, like, the 5 people on planet Earth that actually played Metroid 2 Return of Samus to 100% completion, so when I saw that, I was like, okay, what in this series would be big enough and powerful enough to take down Ridley? I'm thinking, oh, that could be it, wow, and then I got really excited, but before I end my whole tirade about Samus's character, I think it's completely valid if you don't like Samus as a character in here. If you just feel like it's just a bad character, that's fine. What I do take issue with is when you say that this was character assassination, that this contradicted everything about Samus in the past, because, guys, there wasn't much there in the first place, and what was there, I think, one, kind of contributes to what her character could have possibly been in this game, coming off of both Metroid 2, Super Metroid, and Metroid Fusion. And also, I think a lot of it was probably projection, things you were kind of making up in your head. And I can't really blame you for doing that either, because, well, she was always just kind of an avatar of the player. Like with Link, you kind of fill in the gaps and things like that. But let's not pretend that was ever the official interpretation or things like that. And also, I think it's a valid complaint to say that was the purpose the entire time, that I should be able to project what I believe Samus's personality to be onto her. Like, I should be able to do that projection. That's what the character should be. Again, valid argument that I would say in an official capacity, the evidence isn't really there for that scene being complete character assassination, just being what destroys Samus as a character, because I don't think there was much there, guys. I think a lot of it was in your head, and I think if you play the other 2D games, maybe not just exclusively the Prime games, maybe the evidence points a different way. But again, kind of an unpopular opinion. I know that. Again, I'm not as strong on that one as I am with the Ridley cutscene. I am much more passionate about that one, but I would just like to present that alternative point of view right there. Maybe some food for thought. Maybe go back and just remember what the Samus character actually did in the past, and like, just kind of think to yourself, is it really that much of a contradiction? Is what was there really that much of a contradiction that was right here? Because again, I don't think it was much, but I don't know. At the end of the day, everyone's going to have their interpretation. Not saying yours is any completely less valid than mine or anything else, but just food for thought.